welcome. Nice to see you. We're here at QuickBooks Connect in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada. And we are so, it's been amazing. We saw Jade Simmons today on the stage.
It was unbelievable.
She was so good.
Inspirational. She just plays.
She really did. We learned about all kinds of new innovations that are coming out of QuickBooks. So that was really, really interesting to hear. I think the one that I heard about that I was most excited about was the return of the chart of account templates.
Right. Yes. So chart of account templates. I remember, Laura.
You had a bunch of them.
You did.
Back in the day.
So one of the things that was fantastic about the chart of account templates is that it could be very industry specific. It could be very templated. So this is what we do, franchise, whatever. But I liked that we could share templates. And so that would be a nice ad that's not there right now, but I would be excited to see that come by.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. Yeah. And then what about QuickBooks Ledger? What did you think of QuickBooks Ledger?
Great. And the Intuit Assist, that one I can't wait to see more of.
I think we get to see more on Ledger tomorrow. They're announcing more about that.
More of that. That's
so
awesome.
many reports, all that sort of thing.
That's awesome. And I think that it's interesting that they're calling it Intuit Assist instead of QuickBooks Assist.
Right, across MailChimp, everything.
Right, it's going to have the tax products.
I think they've been building this for a long, long time in the background.
Yes. I agree. It makes me go back to Chatta AI. Mm-hmm. Our buddies from Chatta that, they came to conferences for a long time, and that was really fun to see what all they were pulling in. So I wonder if we're going in
early days.
Yes.
Well, do you guys remember? I don't even know what year it was. It was like 2017 or 2018. And remember they had Stacy Kildall, and she had her little phone, and she's like, "Hey, QB," and she was asking all the questions, and it was bringing up the data. Yeah. So you're right. They've been working on this for a long time. So it's an exciting time for sure.
And Chase bank downloads will work. Bank statement fetching.
Awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah, there was a lot of yays whenever that was an announcement.
But Jade was just phenomenal. And she wasn't reading on any teleprompters. No. She had that. It was beautiful.
Jade was a fantastic motivational speaker.
She really is. She's just like this amazing energy.
Very talented.
Fantastic.
So one of the things that I thought was incredible is that she had this amazing story and pulling some of the pieces out of our stories and putting that on stage. But it was the connection to the music. Because I am very much a musical person. I feel it.
Yeah, I teared up.
Me too. So whenever you pull in an emotional story, you pull in that music, I instantly get goosebumps. I feel it in my chest.
And she's been with us for how many connects? Before 2020, she's been doing it a few years from San Jose days.
And then
this
she
might be her third or fourth, maybe.
I think it's a third, maybe. Yeah, and didn't she do one in Toronto as well? Maybe. I think they did. I think one year when I was in Toronto at the Canadian version of QuickBooks Connect.
I've done some of that.
There's not very many that get invited back because once you hear from a speaker, you typically don't hear from them again because we've been there, done that. But she's just a wow, and she delivers.
Amazing.
Yep.
And then later today, do I need to say it? And you actually have like a really exciting thing happening for you today. Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, right.
Yes.
She gets to meet Ryan Reynolds.
And so one of the things that I did was I was like, okay, I'm going to get a poster that I want to hang inside of my pool room. And the picture pose that I chose was he's leaning back on a chair with the like bullets, gold kind of raining down on him, and it's bouncing off. It is like, it's hilarious and hot at the same time. It like checks both of those boxes.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled to sign that for you today.
I told Liz that she has to say hi. I've actually told her the exact words. Do you remember them?
My friend thinks that you're really hot.
No, that was not.
Okay. No, she says hi.
It was just.
I got that.
My friend Heather says hi.
She says hi.
That was it. That's all. And then people sign.
I can't say that I think that he's really hot, but I can say that you think that.
All right, so you're going to tell him that I think he's really hot?
Yeah, I'm saying that for a friend. This one.
You got Ashton, so she gets
I did get Ashton, and I made him take a picture
with Cubert,
my frog.
the crocheted frog. All right. So what we want to do is pull it over. Laura, you are one of our dear friends. And so it's easy to talk about QuickBooks Connect with
Yes, we'll have to
you.
stay on topic.
Yes.
But we do very much want to hear about Arrow Workflow.
Yes.
And we want to hear, in a nutshell, what is Arrow Workflow and who is it designed for?
Arrow Workflow is a practice management, workflow management tool designed for accounting firms who have staff that do work for the firm. And that may be your client work. That may also be the work in doing your marketing and whatever else for your firm. And so it was created by accountants. I run an accounting firm in the Bay Area outside of San Francisco, and a couple of the other founders also run their own firms. So we know this pain point, and we have spent many years building it. I built it first in 2010, and then we put it on its own platform in 2013. So it's been around a while. We're in intuitappstore.com, and we have clients in all different countries. So I'd say one quick way to describe what it is to picture it is, I think of it as interactive checklists. Your staff log in each day and they land on their tasks that are assigned to them for the day. They click a task and they get this interactive checklist, and they can go about doing their work step by step, just the way you, the firm, wants them to do it. And it keeps it very consistent. If the staff goes on vacation, someone else can cover for them easily. So that's kind of Arrow in a nutshell. But ask me anything else you want to know.
Well, I feel like you are one of the power women inside of our industry, and so many of us look up to you, truly. And women in tech. So you have crossed over from not only just accounting, but also in tech. So pulling that in, the fact that you've designed something is very special. But I also want to ask, like, where did the inspiration come from in order to create this solution?
I mean, just basic need. We were using an Excel spreadsheet, and we made it shareable. And so our different staff would log into this shared spreadsheet, and it would become corrupted. It wouldn't sort by your name, so you couldn't go find which lines were your task. And then you'd put in like a date when you'd finished, and it would be missing the next time you went in. You're like, I know I did this bank rec last month. It's not there logged in as having done. It's not checked off. Like, just a mess. I mean, that did not work very long at all. So we just moved it to a database, and some people use, Access database or something.
Right.
For us, we used another of our favorite apps in the exhibit hall, Method, CRM. And I was a Method developer at the time, so I built it on Method. And then after a few years of other accounting firms saying, we want to get it, Method put us on its app store, and then we built it on our own platform.
It's incredible.
Super exciting.
Yeah, it just kind of rolls out and happens. You
Right.
don't know the answer to the big question, but you just start doing all of the little steps along the way.
So one of the things I love about Arrow Workflow and what you've done, Laura, for those of you who don't know, and I think everybody does know that you've led a lot of training. You've helped build the QuickBooks online training. You've done training for other really popular.
You and I worked on the first QBO Advanced search
We
together.
did. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so you have a lot of that training embedded right inside Arrow. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. When you subscribe to Arrow for your firm, it is blank for your firm. There are no checklists in there. You put in your procedure guides. We're not telling you how to run your firm. You have your own specific way of doing things that's very unique to you. But we do have the Arrow library, because a lot of people in the first year or two when Arrow first launched were like, it's very tedious work to document all our processes. And, we're already working with all of these apps and have all the processes mapped out. They were like, please, can we just have your checklist? So
Yes.
we spent some time loading up and building the Arrow library, which comes with all subscriptions of Arrow. So if you get Arrow, you can make your own templates. But if you want to get some out of the library, one click the button on one of the checklists you like, and you just you can either put it into your own library and customize it from there. You might look at ours and say, for the most part, they've got it, but I want to add some more specifics to it. Or you can just assign it right away to your client and delegate it to your staff and set it for the recurring frequency. It's off and running. Your staff just come in the morning and do their tasks. And then so your staff log in and they see their work. But you, the firm owner or managers, can log in and watch your firm at work. You can see all of the tasks being done, if they're in progress, if they're deferred, if they're completed. So at the end of the day, you can close up shop. Nobody forgot to run a payroll for a client,
That's
or
right.
you can see it.
Right.
And what the steps were to run that payroll for that particular client.
Yes. Yeah.
certainly matters.
And we know how unique every one of our clients is. Like you can be doing QBO payroll for a client. We know what those steps look like. But then each client has a very specific, that's not a fire alarm, right?
No, it's not a fire alarm.
That's
Somebody
it,
backing
reversing
up.
a
It's
chair.
reversing
a chair. Yeah.
It's good, but I don't think they can hear it. I think we can hear it, but I think
Okay.
we're good.
So I'm
Yeah.
curious, what are some of the new features that you are rolling into Arrow?
The most exciting one I have, well, I mean, we have a new look and feel that just recently launched, but my favorite now is called Arrow Advisor. Arrow Advisor lets you open another Arrow account for your clients. We've had people ask us for years.
What?
They say, my clients need to do things that we tell them how to do, but they don't follow it right, and we're giving them PDF checklists, and we're just giving it away free. So now you can open an Arrow account for your client, and because it's connected to your account, it's going to be white labeled with your logo, your firm's logo. So they're going to be logging into your firm's processes, and then all of your procedures that you publish to your Arrow Advisor accounts will show up for them. So you just have
Very
them
nice.
set,
That's
and you
very
can start
nice.
to now capitalize on your intellectual property. All those things you've written up and trained and just given away free, put those as your checklist, all your workflow processes in Arrow, and now you've got your firm's library white labeled, and Arrow's going to charge you. Arrow pricing is phenomenal. It is not the high end pricing. It's wonderful, and it depends on what size your business is, but each of the pricing for Arrow, it's going to charge you wholesale pricing, and then you can charge your clients.
I love that, because where my mind goes with that whole concept of the white label is that your firm kind of elevates from being the accounting firm to an accounting platform, right? So now you're creating this whole space for your clients to interact with your team, and they have the tools they need to make sure that the parts that they're responsible for, they're doing correctly. I love
And it
that.
allows us to move into an advisory role.
Right.
It's another step moving into advisory. You're giving your knowledge capital. You're allowing that tedious work to go to your clients now to do some of their own work. Your team can be support around it, because they're still always going to need you for questions and cleanup.
Right.
You know, one of the things that I think is genius that you pull in is you've got a lot of connections in this community. And so there's a lot of other people who develop processes. So inviting them in to share their workflow.
They are library authors. Yes, they
I
are.
love the library author opportunity, because that means you can have a particular restaurant industry and they've got their own kind of checklist, and that can be shared and templated so that way you can implement it in your firm without starting from scratch.
Allows you to start new little service lines of business. Now you can process expense reports for your clients in Expensify or something like that. Grab the checklist, it tells you how to do it.
Right.
Also, setup and implementations are in there. Migrations from desktop to online. You know, when you have staff that you're training, when we have staff that we're training, they come in, the first thing they do morning of day one is they take Arrow certification. Now they know how to use the product. Once they know how to use Arrow, they can go through all the templates and learn how to do everything we do. And so it makes training staff so much easier than ever before.
And templates, because I have been an Arrow workflow user, one of the things that the templates have is other resources. So maybe you want to have them go over to the actual website, or maybe you want to have them go over in the training library.
Like you're doing payroll and you have this checklist, and one of the steps says, now the amount that was withheld from paychecks to pay onto 401k, you need to go remit that. Well, then you're always stumbling around for that client's like link to like Guardian website. On your checklist are links right to the place you have to go. So it really makes everything, and further links to procedure guides with screenshots and stuff. And we have procedure guides in the library, of course. So there are a lot of resources.
So can you share, how can people find out more about Arrow Workflow?
Arrowworkflow.com.
AERO.
AERO as an aerodynamic, not an arrow. So, and we have the Arrow Vault. We have lots of things in there.
It's just all kinds of little bonuses. It's awesome. So Laura, to leave us, tell us, what are you seeing here at QuickBooks Connect? What are you hearing? What are people most excited about? What are the things they're thinking about here on the ground in Las Vegas?
Well, I mean, the thing all right, I'm just going to say this. It's not anything specifically tech savvy, but everything I'm hearing is that everybody's happy to see each other. Like that's the main thing.
Right. Yeah.
It gets back to the reason they named it QuickBooks Connect. It was so that we can connect. And I know that's, I mean, I'm going to my sessions. I'm definitely learning things in there. I love Blake's AI session yesterday. Just went to Hector's reports, and we know advanced reporting. I still like to watch some of these really
Yeah.
technical sessions. So good. I love learning from Hector. But the connections with each other is really, I think, the bonus for everybody because everyone in this community, this profession shares so much. How are you pricing? What, you know, all the things that you can't really figure out. These relationships are the most.
Well, and I feel like I'm smiling ear to ear. And it's truly because every place that I walk over to, I see somebody that I know and it's a hug, it's a greeting. How are you?
And we've known each other a long time and there's new people coming in all the time. So
There
it
is,
is never
yes.
too late to start. Everybody should come.
Absolutely, because there's all kinds of warm circles and community that you started. I always think it starts with food. So whenever I'm grabbing my plate,
There's lots of
you know,
food.
I can sit down with somebody who I don't know and instantly start to connect with them because we've had experiences that are similar.
Right.
And I have Arrow workflow, but I also still run my accounting firm. This is our 19th year. We're all cloud accounting. We've been doing this for a long time. And I know that these conferences changed my practice. I mean, we just went
100%.
from, are there other people doing this? How are they doing? To like, whoa,
Yep.
yes.
I agree with that. I feel like I was bubbled in a little silo in my little world. And then I came out and I started having these table food conversations and it grew into a community and an accountability and just an enjoyable experience.
It's been amazing. And, you know, one of the things that Liz and I have really enjoyed is we've met some of our happy hour viewers here. So we met wonderful Zoe last night that stopped by our happy meetup. And she was sharing how much she enjoys joining us, you know, every couple times a month to learn about the new technology. So that's been fantastic
What
too.
Connect is this? Did they say the 10th?
The 10th? It started, didn't it start in 2015?
I can't remember.
I think that's right. So it's
We
nine,
were
that would
there.
be
You've
nine.
been
That
all
would
of
be
them.
nine,
Yeah.
right? I haven't been to all of them, but
There was a
feel like you were
break.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll
right.
skip
They were
right.
virtual. We were there.
So that's okay. Okay, that's true.
That's true.
True, fair point. I guess I can't.
You're right. Laura, we love you. We love you.
back.
Thank you
Love,
so
love.
much for coming and hanging out with us. And
We're gonna give up
Anybody
my
who is
seat now for
here,
the next-
where would they come and find you? Over at the Arrow.
We have the Arrow booth, right? At Hall at Quickbooks Connect.
and booth number or towards the back of the
Lordy,
room.
I don't know.
Okay,
Right.
so
We're back here by the Intuit booth.
Yeah,
If you're standing at the Intuit, looking
Go to the left.
and we're on your right.
right by the
Yeah.
stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You can go.
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
I love hearing from tech developers that are from our community.
Oh, I love it too because we have, you know, we feel the pain. We're dealing with the clients, and so whenever you have an accounting professional that is, every time you have an accounting professional that's solving a need, they really know the need.
I agree, and
And
we are
so-
getting an awesome opportunity to hear from some of our both industry experts and a solution provider. So
Absolutely.
I
So
want to introduce.
absolutely. So we've got Kelly Gonzalez. Come on in. Hi everyone. And we've got Holly from Cinder. Welcome. How's the conference going for you guys?
That's a lot. That's a lot. I love it. I love it. It's really good.
Good for me. I'm excited. I'm speaking this afternoon, and I've already met like new people and interacted and done a bunch of stuff. So good
And,
energy.
and those glasses are kind of everything. Those are just so, yeah, love that.
These are my QuickBooks Connect / sometimes Christmas glasses.
I really
Sometimes Christmas and then also Easter and you
Yeah.
have to stay in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Have you seen the ugly Christmas sweater?
Okay, so I was just describing a sweater, and I was like,
Exactly.
it's kind of ugly, but really adorable at the same time. I kind of want it. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Right?
It is definitely warm.
Did you buy it?
Not yet,
Yeah, I
but
bought
I
it.
am thinking about it.
I bought it. I bought it.
Okay.
I bought it. It
It's
was like,
so cute.
we always have an ugly sweater party. And I'm like, this literally is the ugliest sweater I've ever seen. So
It
I'm
kind
like,
of is,
I'm
yeah.
It's
It's really cute.
like, yeah, maybe like
Like a little pin.
like
Do
those little
some
pom-poms.
tinsel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just decorate like a tree.
I can, that will be my
It's definitely
for
cute.
the-
It's ugly cute. Sure.
You have.
Yeah.
I want to one hear about what a center do, and then I also want to like what you.
I'm gonna say maybe explain what it is. I'm gonna also get
Yes, all family.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and there is automation software basically to get rid of manual data entry to QuickBooks and completely automate bookkeeping for business owners, for accounting professionals. So basically, we're talking like a use case of a business having multiple payment processors, sales channels, like I know Shopify plus several payment processors, or like Shopify, Amazon, eBay, Etsy, a lot of stuff. And the problem of entering data to QuickBooks and having a good control of the level of detail you want to push over to QuickBooks. So yeah, Cinder is the guy.
Yeah, that is summing up a lot of tech software in just a few words, because Cinder truly does do quite a bit of integrations and automations, and so it just continues to develop.
And it does. It's expanding its own ecosystem, right? Into get that.
They didn't just stop.
Right.
And then like, they were like, we're good now. No, they keep adding new integrations.
Yeah.
And I just want to let our viewers know that we actually have a deep dive into Cinder that we did over the summer. So definitely go and check that out if you want to see it in action. Go check it out.
Yeah. All right, so tell us about,
I guess, my part of it. So prior to using Cinder, I had used some other softwares. I specialize in e-commerce. But what I found was different about Cinder is that they have a lot of integrations, right? So I'm not having to switch between softwares and kind of switch gears into that. Okay, I'm going to jump into this thing for this client, and now I got to jump back and kind of move it all over. But the other side of it was they have options. And so I was using at one point one software if I wanted to do, let's say, a daily summary, so one journal entry in. And then I was using Cinder if I needed every transaction. Now I can do them both in Cinder. So I can just toggle between my clients and set them up, and it's just one place, and it's taking that like extra thought process out of the equation.
Plus, you're standardizing, right? You've got the standardized tech stack, which is so important.
Scalable? You mean it's scalable?
Yes, that is exactly what I was thinking.
And, you know, I think that so from people who are from the e-commerce world, it's like, we still need that. So it's definitely a solution if you are in e-commerce. But I would also say retail. So if you're in the retail industry and you want to be able to pull in all of the information, that's going to be as great.
You're right. It's not just Shopify, Amazon, eBay, right? You're looking at Square, you're looking at Stripe, any essentially almost not any, but a lot of merchant processors, right? So it could be a restaurant, it could be a retail shop, it could be the market that is now mobile and they're using Square Reader, something along those lines, right? You're looking at being able to cover a lot more ground. And we've had this kind of discussion before, but e-commerce is now not just those online sales. You're having a lot more, it's expanded, right? It's a lot bigger than just that. And so people are doing e-commerce without even intentionally doing e-commerce, you know?
And they need a solution to get all of the data out.
Right.
So in the summarizing, the details, there's a variety of options in how you use Cinder.
Right.
So that is part of the flexibility.
And they have
the
new
reason
options.
why you solution.
I said, and they're going to tell you about some new solutions.
I want to tell us.
Yes.
There's new stuff.
Yeah. Spill the tea.
We're going to review like things makes it easier to manage for we also added some like big product features. So as those upgrades for like the management side of things. So right now there is like this for workspace, what we call it. So that basically allows accounting firms to easily manage their employees inside Cinder, their clients, assigning employees to clients, you know, doing all this
like
stuff.
A dashboard kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Like a dashboard thing. And another thing that always was a part of the conversation is pricing, which is kind of obvious, but like the thing with apps, I mean, any transactional based app, you know, that like depending on the volume of the transaction the business generates or the volume like of money like the business generates. So the pricing is always a pain point because for seasonal clients, like, and for accounting firms, it's so hard to kind of project, okay, so what this offer is going to cost me like next month, next year. So that's why we came up with the like flat fee pricing for accounting firms, so that it like it's unlimited everything. You have to meet certain criteria, but once you're there, like that's so easy to manage. I mean, if you have like 10 plus clients, you stop asking yourself, okay, so what will I get next month? So it's like
So one of the things I had a chance yesterday to sit down with Ilya, and that was very enlightening because one of the things that we did touch on is pricing, and so you're bringing that up, and one of the I think opportunities is how much research Cinder truly does in the industry to
Right.
pull out what's needed, and that's why you're in constant development. But that pricing piece is what's really going to help our community. When you're doing e-commerce, I mean, you can spend a lot of time trying to create a workflow that's going to do all of the things you needed to do. And only every once in a while, when you're using a solution that's really strong, are you going to have some troubleshooting. But how do we price that? And so that's part of, you're doing some really cool positioning with how Cinder's priced, but that also allows a lot of those who serve the e-commerce industry to also start to get a hang
variable.
on.
You're not having to
Right.
think, okay,
Price
we're
these
getting towards the
services.
busy season. We're going to need more syncs into QuickBooks. How do we price this back to the client? Like, you don't have to worry about it.
Because now instead of it just being a data syncing in, it's more of this troubleshooting when things go wrong, advising.
Right.
Mhm.
And you know, when you're looking at a solution for your e-commerce clients, that's actually one of the biggest sticking points is can they afford it? Right. And so you look at all these solutions, you're looking at the functionality. And so knowing that you have that stability across your entire client base is really comforting and awesome.
She forgot
Well
to,
done.
so I'm going to bring them up and make her talk about them. So they also have something called revenue recognition, which I don't know if you guys have heard about.
Ooh,
I
that's
think
an
you've seen it.
accountant?
And then the other thing was they just introduced payout sync. So sometimes you have clients that are just wanting to bring that data in when you're actually moving money into the bank. And so you can then bring that information over with just the payout sync, not
So it's
having
just
to
like
go
cash
for
basis.
every single one.
Okay,
Okay,
so
awesome.
some options there. Because sales, deposits equal sales in some scenarios.
Oh,
You know,
no.
Well, I mean,
I know.
I mean, the thing that really I feel like sets Cinder apart is that you have considered all of the different ways that accountants like to see the data inside the general ledger accounting program.
exactly.
And that is so important to us because what works for one company doesn't work for another.
Right.
And we need to be able to get that data in so that our reports are streamlined and we can actually now advise on them rather than trying to create workarounds to
And
get
you
the
can
data
even
we need.
do it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you can do it by sales channel. So if you want summaries for Amazon, but you want something more specific for Shopify, you can do that as well.
You can do that.
Right?
So important. So important.
So explain revenue recognition real quick because it is pretty cool. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like the first step in terms of revenue recognition that is like live already is the SaaS revenue recognition. So it kind of works based on Stripe and Stripe subscriptions. Right now, we're going to add more platforms as we go, but like that's kind of the first solid step that we made, you know, towards this direction. And yeah, basically, so instead of just reflecting like accrual-based invoices, right, in the P&L, so now there is an option to kind of do the proper revenue recognition for subscriptions, and you know, keeping in mind that they can be upgraded, downgraded, refunded, canceled. A lot of stuff can happen to subscription over the lifetime of the subscription,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So kind of it's a pain in everywhere, right, to kind of keep track of that, to actually like maintain all these changes. So basically, Cine can do this completely automatically. So we know every time something changes.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Cash flow advisory,
right.
being able to tell your client this is where you're projected to be in a couple of months because we can map that out ahead of time. That's major.
It is major.
I am grateful. So Kelly, you've been with Cinder for quite a while, which to me that gives some credibility because there is this investment into our community to continue to hear, to continue to understand what the true needs are, and to develop around that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm grateful that it's kind of, I feel like sometimes recognized in real time, right? So I'll say something to Polly like, oh, I found this thing or this broke or this happened, and she's like, oh, on it, and sends it to the team and like all the things, right? So I'm grateful in that they do take the feedback seriously. They do implement new tools based on accounting feedback, right? Like revenue recognition came out of a need from a different accounting firm. They're like, well, we need a product that can do this. And they're like, all right, on it. No problem.
And that's something that Liz and I have always said. It makes a difference between, you know, a product and a partner, right?
Absolutely.
Is that the product you have and you're kind of there, you're on your own, but the partner is there taking the feedback, making sure you're having a good experience, making sure your client is having a good experience. So kudos to you guys. We've known Ilya and Mikhail for a long, long time and they've done fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, they've really grown it. I feel like they've grown an accountant presence very well. And I mean, coming to events like this, yes, you get feedback in person, but then also taking into account the rest of the year, they're happy to hear from people. They have someone online pretty much 24 hours a day. If someone's stuck or needs help, you know, the customer support aspect is great.
I think one of the things that speaks to is sometimes we have a solution that is being created because it can be developed.
Right.
But that doesn't always mean that it's actually solving the actual problem.
Right.
So one of the things I think is unique about Cinder is they are flexible as to what the solution looks like because they're listening to the real problem.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Absolutely.
Very fantastic.
One last thing before
Yeah.
we let you go
Okay.
is that Kelly actually was spotlighted on Happy Hours back in late spring, I believe it was, and she shared her internal and external tech stack. So go watch that. So if you go to thehappyhour.com and you click on firm spotlights, you can actually view all of the firms, not just Kelly, but all the firms. Although, yes,
But I will be there.
She's
Main
smart.
stage,
Yes,
Absolutely.
and we provide information about the size of the firm, the number of
Yes.
team members,
Absolutely.
what, how many clients,
Yeah.
and what the growth goals are. So you can kind of benchmark against where are you in your firm and how are other practitioners that are the same size, same goals, what are they doing?
I think Michelle Vilm's episode also highlighted how she uses it as a bigger
Yes,
firm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we see is that we see these pieces of tech that are crossing over different firms.
Right.
Yes.
Some of them are people that are well known, and
Mhm.
some of them are firms that we don't know as well. But it's awesome to
Right.
see the tech selection.
Yeah.
That
It
is
is
that's a key
different.
part of what we're
Really
looking
cool.
for.
You guys, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having
And
me.
we'll see you later tonight. Connect us,
Absolutely.
maybe?
Yeah.
I'll be the one
Party
who's like,
later.
I'll have a big dress.
yes,
So
I think
we'll have
most
to
of
get,
us will.
I wonder, Kelly, if we'll be wearing the same dress again.
Again? No way. The colors. Mine's black.
Mine's gold.
Okay.
All right.
We're safe. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to scoot over just a little bit here, and we have our next guest joining us.
Oh.
And our next guest is our newest sponsor to Happy Hour,
So true.
and we're so excited to have Nana join us.
Nana, please come
on
over.
over.
So
Oh,
Dex is
so
being represented in the
I
house.
know. We
Welcome.
are.
Join us. Glad
Thank you
you're
for
here.
having me.
We
So
are.
nice to collab with you again.
It has
been a while.
absolutely. It has. We had lots of fun behind the main stage at Scaly View Heights,
That's
and
right.
I feel like we became fast friends.
Yes,
so
you
great to
definitely
see you.
took care of me when I needed it. I remember it was my first ever like TED
And you
Talk
killed
style
it, yeah.
event, and I was like,
You did such a great job. And, yeah. So I know, and I was a nervous wreck too because I was doing mine too.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in it together.
we're in
so.
it together. We made
Awesome.
it.
We
that,
did
that
make it.
behind the scenes, I just got to like go back and say, go Heather. And when I did, it was like the energy behind the scenes of the main stage is so incredible that it's like you're breathing in something that has an aroma.
Yes.
There is an energy
It
and
is fun.
excitement behind the scenes. So it is a beautiful experience.
It really is.
So all about Dex.
Yes.
Go ahead, and we would love to have like a summarization of what is it that Dex does,
Yes.
and like who is it designed to serve?
Okay, so let me tell you everything. Okay, so Dex really wants to make sure that you get quality information into your general ledger software. Fundamentally, that's what we do, right? If you don't put quality information in, what happens in the end? Your one source of truth becomes a little bit messy.
And what is it they say?
Garbage in, garbage
You
out,
got it.
right? That's what happens.
Yep.
And so we really want to make sure that from a data capture aspect, we provide products that make it as easy as possible to get data in, quickly as possible, as completely as possible, with as little human intervention as possible, because we tend to make a mess of things, right? And then ultimately we integrate with QuickBooks. I won't tell you who else we integrate with. I'm sure QDO would not love that. Hey, I won't tell you what else, but we integrate with several of the general ledger platforms. And then ultimately, we have another product that's called Dex Precision, which really ensures data quality and assurance and so on, so that you can then go ahead and issue that one source of truth, right? So I talked about data capture. That is our Dex Prepare, our bread and butter that keeps the lights on, right? As well as Dex Commerce, right? So before you do any accounting, we just have to make sure the information that you're accounting for is correct.
And so, Dex has done the OCR thing, the capture of the receipts and the categorization and the automation into the GL. You're starting to step into new, and you just mentioned one of them. But you're starting to step into new areas and creating new solutions for accounting professionals. Can you dig into those a little bit more?
Yes. Okay. So I'll talk about, some of the advances for our existing product, right? So we really started with, again, that receipt capture. That's what we're known for because it's cool.
It is
It's cool to take out your mobile phone and take a picture of an app or with an app rather. It's fantastic. But then, okay, great. So we have all this data. So what do we do with it?
Yeah, we got to analyze.
We
We have to analyze
We got to
it,
report.
right? We have to report it.
We're advisors.
We're advisors, right? And a lot more accounts are getting into that advisory space, right? So we talked about that data quality and assurance. We talked about how to manage your practice even with all that data that you now have. So what methods of submission tend to be the most effective and tend to get
Wow.
that information in as quickly as possible, right? And then that way you can adjust some of the behavioral patterns for your clients using some of that data that you have, right? Yeah, so we talked about Dex Commerce really briefly here, where we have the opportunity to see which platforms are the most effective or deliver the most volume for some of your e-commerce clients, right? Are the processing fees worth it for some of the platforms that they're operating on? Now we can evaluate that.
Wow.
Yeah, even with some of the jurisdictional information that we can capture, and we have that information. So what can you do with it? Well, we can see, well, maybe we should spend more marketing dollars in this particular region because that's where the volume is, right? So lots that we can do with the information once we have it. First and foremost, let's just get it, right?
Yeah. And then you can utilize it
however you want.
however you want.
Yeah.
Whether you're looking at which team members are spending the most and what
That's
are they
right.
spending it on,
Right.
or how much marketing are you doing in a particular product line, and what is the return on all of those expenses.
That's right.
So is Dex, I just want to make sure I'm hearing this
Yeah.
correctly. So Dex is actually now looking at the entire P&L, not just the expense portion. Am I understanding that correctly?
Not just the expense
Not just
portion.
the expense portion. That's
Exactly.
amazing. So that's a big
Exactly.
difference for those of you that haven't looked at Dex in quite a while. That's
Yep.
new.
That's
And
it.
that's, yeah, fantastic.
And what we appreciate is that, we hear all the time that we need to move into a spot where we are advising our clients. And one of the things that, we're always thinking about is what kind of advice am I going to give? Hard facts. That's where I think that you start. I mean, you're
Let
looking at the
lead
data.
you.
So the fact that you're bringing that data and you're saying, okay, it's here, now go have a conversation about it. Do something about all this data. Are you spending too much in travel or office expenses? What is the thing that is driving your bottom line, and how do you assist in that? And I would say, because a lot of times I hear from our community that they're scared to get it wrong.
Yes.
But if you're pulling in the facts,
Right.
all you're doing is just actually highlighting that with your clients.
That's right.
And that brings me to something else. So if I'm a firm that's just adopting Dex and I'm excited to learn about it, what kinds of support and resources do you have for like the whole process of onboarding my firm, onboarding my clients, allowing me to really become, get things automated so that I can step into that advisory role?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, let's talk about, what we offer. We offer an opportunity for you to streamline your workflows, right? What does it mean to streamline your workflows? Well, if you have 100 clients and you only have 5 of them on a platform, where's the opportunity to streamline, right? So really think about how you can even stagger that implementation over, let's say, a month, 30, 60, 90-day period so that you're not in this perpetual state of implementation, right? Mm-hmm. And we help you alongside to prepare that plan for you to get, a substantial portion of your client base onto the platform. So again, you're not in a perpetual state of implementation so that you can actually realize the benefits of the platform at scale, right?
Absolutely.
Actually streamline your process. So our partner solutions consultants really work alongside our clients to deliver a number of different supports. So, and again, this scales with the number of clients that you're going to add on to Dex, right? So for our smallest bundles, you have the opportunity to view our online resources. For the next bundle up, you can have more tailored solutions for your firm. For the next sort of tier, you have the opportunity to not only provide solutions for your firm and your bookkeepers, but your clients, and we deliver some one-to-many trainings as well, right? So awesome. Ultimately making it as easy as possible to get everybody on board with utilizing your new set of processes for your firm.
One of the things that you said was, how can you streamline if you're using a lot of different tools? And you know, Heather and I hear this all the time. Which apps do I use?
Yeah.
So everybody has expense needs.
Mhm.
So being able to say, here's a solution that would actually cross over multiple different clients, that is a value add. And so being able to get familiar and learn, and it's like you said, you're going to help that firm to be able to onboard and understand, and the resources and some training, and then you repeat
Yes.
over
Right.
and over again, and
Yes.
you get your clients into a solution that now they can do things with that data.
I could not agree more. You know, we actually talked about this at the Woodard Ideal Practice Symposium in our technology about how important it is for firms to define the technology they're going to use in their firm and with their clients.
Right.
So streamlining that tech stack and saying, this is how we do, and I'm stealing that actually from Laura Redmond. She's the first person that I remember her saying that in a training with us, is this is how we do things here.
That's right.
Right. And so once you have defined your own processes and you've defined your tech stack that works for the processes that you're delivering, you know, that you're doing and the services you're delivering to your clients, then you start to see that scalability really take off.
And at the same time, as you mentioned, we want to provide solutions that provide some agility in the accounting solutions that you can provide to your clients based on their different behavior patterns as well, right? This is how we do it here, but these are some options for you to put in with what we're doing.
Flexibility.
Here.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
be agile, right? We don't want to be hard and fast, but we have 9 different ways for you in Dex Prepare just to get information.
Right.
With those 9 different ways, we'll have a solution for someone, right?
Yeah.
That works for somebody, including mobile apps and invoice fetches and drag and drops and all of these different ways to ensure that our accounting firms are in fact agile.
Yeah, we love our dry and drops.
We do. Absolutely.
So as far as Dex, is there anything that you want to share that is something that's like maybe even from the conference? Are there the kinds of questions that are coming to Dex that you're hearing right now?
So I know that people are hungry for new features, right? And we're really excited to have a new senior management team this year. In particular, we have a new chief product officer who is just taking us to that next level, right? So we're going through a little bit of a product revolution at this point, I would say. So, you know, in terms of new features, we've been pumping out some new features lately, like our inline calculator. People are really excited about that, right? So rather than opening up a calculator app, as you're typing something, perhaps in Dex Prepare, if you choose to do that, you can just enter that plus sign within Dex Prepare.
A little thing that makes a big difference.
It does make a big
It makes
difference.
it so much easier. We have something now called multi-account management. So especially for those bookkeepers who are servicing multiple clients or multiple firms, I should say, right?
Yeah.
Or perhaps those franchise owners, you can just toggle now between different businesses. You don't have to have this
nice.
old, our old method was like a weird false email that you had to use for the different businesses that you support. It was very odd. We were working on it, okay, and we've now evolved past that, right? So we continue to innovate in the product. This is our bread and butter. This is what we do. And so we invest a lot in our products to ensure that that user interface and that experience continues to be optimal, right? So I talked a lot about Dex Prepare, but we have Dex Commerce as well. You know, mapping was a sore point, and we've heard all the feedback. So now we have something called Mapping Central, which again makes that streamlined process of getting started with Dex Commerce much easier.
So we seem to be hearing a common theme here, that the feedback is what is being incorporated.
Yes.
So I mean, when I asked you what is the experience here at QuickBooks Connect, you know, the first thing that you're talking about is the feedback.
Right.
And you're listening to that, and you're gathering that information because that is part of that product development.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's important for us.
Yes.
No, it really is.
Right.
Yeah. So I know that we're almost at time, but I cannot leave here without talking about Dextension.
Oh, okay.
Dextension, it's all about the name, first of all. It is a pun. It is a browser extension. And the objective really is to streamline that process of working with QBO, right? So you don't have to open so many tabs. You don't have to have so many points and clicks, and to open up an attachment within your bank space, you can see a 3-way match between general ledger transactions, the bank transactions, and the attachment from Dex Prepare. Right? Yeah.
Score.
Really, really easy.
Ah.
We have a closed beta group right now because we are looking to launch it officially at the end of December. But if there are any partners, Dex partners who are here at QBC today, come check us out if you want to be part of that closed beta group. There are a number of different ways, and again, about that feedback, right? We want to listen to you. We want you to be a part of that experience. So, and then you get to see a little bit more of that sneak peek into that extension feature.
That feels like a strong checklist, streamlining.
It does. And
yeah, super cool.
Nana, if somebody is watching Happy Hour and they're not able to be here in Las Vegas with us, how would they opt into that beta?
Oh, they can go to Dex website, or they can message us, contact your Dex support person,
Awesome.
and we'll make sure that your voice is heard.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing with the community what's happening and what is coming and all of the goodies is involved in Dex.
Lots of goodies coming.
And we'll be having a deep dive into Dex, I believe, in December. Is that right?
It's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
We'll get the dates for you.
So mark that on your calendar. You can find out when all of our episodes are upcoming. Episodes are happening at thehappyhour.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for
Thank you.
joining us. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
that you're here.
Bye.
So one of the things that's fun is to listen to all of our vendors and all of the apps that are here, to be able to hear what is coming, what is new, where are people hanging out. So it's been enlightening.
It has been. And one of the things that I heard from all three of our guests today is that what firms want in an application is they want that scalability across their entire practice, but they want that agility that Nana talked about. The ability and that we heard from Cinder and Kelly talked about is the ability to actually customize it, but within the same technology, just the way that we customize our QuickBooks Online companies to suit our clients. We want our apps within our tech stack to also have the ability to do the same thing.
And the apps should fit in alignment with your offerings.
Yes, absolutely.
And sometimes whenever you have an offering, you can go back and start to look for a app that would help you with that kind of offering. And so, we've e-commerce, restaurants, you have a point of sale. We heard from Cinder, Era Workflow, anybody who is looking for a practice management solution that's in the accounting space. And we heard from Dex all about expense management. So, those are all really good places to begin whenever you're thinking about your service offerings and how you can expand that with a solution.
Absolutely. And, we have a bunch of amazing annual sponsors on Happy Hour that actually address other pain points and solutions that we need in our practice. So,
and many of them are here.
A lot of our friends are here. So Anchor is here, Ignition is here, and we actually were at the Ignition pre-conference party.
Whoop, whoop.
What a great time that was.
It was a beautiful party.
Absolutely. So for all of you that aren't able to be here with us in Las Vegas, we're here for you. We're using our voice for you, and we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, everybody.
Bye.